Still no luck finding anyone who knows me.
Don't worry about it. Maybe your memory will come back on its own. Remember anything yet?
Nope.
Oh well.
Oh. Sonic? Whoa! Mr. Monster Guy is back!
So when the sun goes down, I turn into this?
Are you okay, Sonic?
I'm fine. I just need to be careful who sees me like this.
Sonic! Sonic, look!
What is it?
Oh, it's hopeless! The whole planet is split apart! We're doomed! Oh.
Mister?
Oh.
Hey, mister! Hey, don't cry. Ice cream. How about some more of this super tasty stuff?
What good is ice cream at a time like this? Oh.
Sonic, your arm just stretched.
Weird. But it could be useful.
Oh.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of the PlayStation 2 and Wii version of Sonic Unleashed. Well, immediately I have a question. So, what was Sonic expecting to do when he reached out for that ice cream? Because like, he didn't know he had the stretchy arms. What was he expecting to happen? Well, so that ice cream can completely defy gravity. I'll have you know, that is rude, Alexis. That is incredibly rude. So now we actually have somebody in Cafe Terrace, but I'm not going to talk to him just yet. I don't think it makes much of a difference. Ah! Hey, Pilgrim, what's the matter? You alright? You look shorter and stouter than before. Did you eat something funny? Now, I'm pretty sure Sonic the Werehog is taller than normal Sonic, but apparently I'm shorter, which is odd. I'm sure he's taller. Not by much, but a bit. In fact, if Amy's anything to go by, she's shorter than Sonic, but not that much shorter, as the later cutscene will show. Spoiler warning, Amy's in this game. I was talking about how many unusual guests we get. Eric said he even gave directions to a yellow fox. After Apotos' tremor, tourism's declined and nights are dangerous. It was this morning. Reports of ghosts have not been verified, but you be careful, son. Now that's weird. He's really nice to us at the moment, but if we go back and speak to him again... What? Who are you? The hedgehog I met earlier today? Don't look at me like that. Stay away! Well, fine. That was some 180 in personality. I think it's because in the HD version, he does get possessed by Dark Gaia. But we don't really see that here, so he's nice at one point and then he's mean. I don't get it. I mean, well, I had some stranger ask me a favor. And since he was a yellow fox, I figured you knew each other. He told me if I saw a blue hedgehog, I ought to give him this. His description was a bit different, but you gotta be the one he meant. It's a good thing Tails knew we were here. And we've obtained the first continent moon tablets. So now we can enter the night stages. We are introduced to the werehog now. Everybody's least favourite bit about Sonic Unleashed. Honestly, the werehog is not something that I dislike. I just don't find him very interesting, regardless of which version you're playing. You're a couple of odd pilgrims, aren't you? Where are you from? Well, it don't matter. I like your style. Take this. He's the only one that talks in that sort of way. Everybody else just talks very normally. I think that's why I like Lambros. And he is a sailor. He's actually Alexis's father. They didn't really have any... The characters don't really have much of a connection in this version, where compared to the HD version, where there's also just more characters in general. We do have a Adabat is entirely one family in this version, as is Holoska. But all of the others, not really. We have two sisters in Shamar, a father and son in Shamar. Yeah, I think that's about it, really. Yeah, we don't know in this version that Alexis is Lambros' son. We're only told that in the HD version, but we also know he's a sailor. And so this is the only sacred shrine where we can play as Sonic in the main room. Because it's so brightly lit, because I guess this is the only one that they actually look after, it's actually light. Now if you take any of those secret doors though, it's completely dark, and Sonic will instantly turn into the werehog. The only problem with this is that every single time you enter this hub world and it's set to nighttime, Sonic, you always have to wait a few seconds for Sonic to sort of just stare at his hands. He always does it every time you go in, so I always make sure that Apotos is set to daytime. Because once the consonants are restored, you can switch between day and night. One thing I completely forgot to do was head through the sun door, because I unlocked a mission. It's a weird thing that happens in most day stages. You complete the series of missions that you do after the main stage, and then it unlocks another mission, but instead of going straight to that mission, you're just given the tablet fragment and you're sent back to the hub world or to the cutscene or whatever, which is odd. You'd think it would just make you play the stage. So we're not really going to be doing any of the werehog's main stages in this part, because I figured otherwise it might be a bit too lengthy. So in this, we're simply just going through all of the werehog's tutorials. Now the thing is, compared to the HD version, there's ups and downs. So on the plus side, the werehog moves a bit faster. And that's about it. Other than that, that's really about it. His combat is not as good. He doesn't have nearly the same amount of moves. His stages are shorter, because that's probably the most notorious thing about the werehog in the HD version, is just how long his stages can go on for. Especially when you're hunting for the Sun and Moon medals, which we don't have to worry about here. But in this version, the stages aren't as long, but there's multiple stages. For the first five areas, first 5 continents I should say, there are 3 werehog acts. For the second 2, well not for the second 2, for the 5th and 6th, there are 4 acts. And then for the final one, there are 5 acts. Now these do vary in length. You are given a time limit to try and beat each stage. You're not actually told what that time limit is until the end. And they generally vary between 6 and 9 minutes. There's one that's 10 and one that's 11. For the most part though, they're really easy to beat, even when you're going after all the items. There are some exceptions, but for the most part these time limits are very easy to beat. Generally, when there's 3 acts, it will take me about 15-20 minutes to get through them all. But again, it does kind of just depend on how long the stages are, because when we do get to, in the next part, it's about 24.5 minutes long. Now, part of that is because we have the cutscene at the end. But, you know, that cutscene is only about like a minute and a half long, so most of it is just werehog, and that is just 3 acts, and they're all quite short. So, yeah, we are looking anywhere between 15 and 25 minutes for the first 5 consonants, and then things are going to get a bit bigger. And that's where we're probably going to have to start splitting them up. I mean, even in the HD version, the werehog stages generally aren't that long. It's just when you have to hunt for all the Sun and Moon medals. Because you're not going to be you're most likely going to be going straight past them in the day stages. And you need more Sun medals than Moon medals, and it works like the opposite there. So we're getting Sun medals in the night stages, even though we needed the Moon tablet to enter the night stages. It's like in the HD version, you collect both Sun and Moon medals in the stages. But in the day stages, there were more Moon medals than Sun medals, and in the night stages, there's more Sun medals than Moon medals. And you don't need as many Sun medals as you need more Sun medals than Moon medals to beat the game, the HD version. So, you know, since you're going to be collecting most of those in the werehog stages, and they're just easier to find because you're not boosting right past them, those stages can take a good 20 to 30 minutes. Now, once you've done that, and you're just playing the stage normally, most of them can be beaten in under 10. In fact, the hot dog missions require you to do that. In fact, one of them requires you to beat it in under 3 minutes. Some of the extra stages can take a bit longer, but just because of their structure. But they're also just that, they're optional. You don't need to worry about them. So, yeah, because of that, by the time you get to like the later half of the game, I say that the werehog stages they are longer in this version, just because we're dealing with like 3 7-minute werehog levels all in a row, and then we get to 4, and then we get to 5. It just goes on and on and on. You know, we have all of these extra missions to try and even things out with the day stages. It doesn't work. You know, even by the time we start, we're technically, some of the later day stages, we're almost doing like 2 or 3 times in a row. And even that isn't enough, because most of these day stages are also really short. So, and there's 25 night acts. There are optional missions as well, just like in the day stages, but you don't have to play any of them. They're all completely optional for the werehog. So, that little spinning thing right there, that is the werehog's, that's technically your upgrades, basically. So, in the HD version, you upgrade both Sonic and the werehog. In this version, it's just the werehog. And you upgrade the werehog by collecting Gaia Force. You get it for breaking certain objects, defeating enemies, you find certain capsules that contain them. And in total, you need to collect 72,000 throughout the game. Really easy to do. Just break everything and you'll get it no problem, especially if you start doing all of the optional missions as they unlock. And I realise in the tutorial, I'm not really explaining anything about the werehog. So he has just most of his moves from the HD version are, most of the moves he has here are in the HD version. There's a few missing, but we do have most of his abilities. He has 2 sets of combos. He has a sort of round one that attacks like it's like a radius one. It attacks everything in its vicinity. It's hard to explain. And then he has some straightforward ones. So if you hit square, you do the all around ones. You hit circle, you do the forward ones, where Sonic just attacks what's in front of him. In the end, you can alternate buttons if you want. You have to on the Wii version, which is the main reason I'm playing this version. And in the what am I trying to say? Whatever it was I was trying to say. He has the Were Hammer, which you hit by pressing triangle. It just hits things in the air and then you can attack the ground. It pretty much just disperses enemies if they're surrounding you. You have a shield, which I barely ever use. You hit L1. It is more effective in this version though, compared to the HD version. It actually works. You can grab ledges and shimmy on them. You can climb up poles. You can pick up and throw objects. And then later on we're going to start unlocking more abilities. So at the moment, the werehog's combat is very limited, and that's saying something because in this version it is very limited. But I will be getting more into the werehog in the next part where we go into its actual stages. So I will see you guys then.